Hi everyone, I'm Scott Hope. Welcome to highlights of our coverage of the Mecum Glendale auction from State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. All right, let's bring out a 2023 Maserati MC20.
Well, Scott, you know, I mentioned earlier how there's global warfare going on now with all the high-end automobile makers.
Right.
Those European exotics, everybody knows what everybody else is doing. Of course, Ford get into the fray with the Ford GT. And now we got Lamborghini and Ferrari, and now Maserati in the game as well with a car like this. 621 horse, 3-liter V6. This is capable of speeds well in excess of 200 miles an hour and all modern accoutrement.
Reserve is off. 195. Good read.
Okay, the reserve is off. 195 is the number at the moment.
Driven 34 miles. And that's it.
195 going to be 200. Sold. 195 pounds an order. Sold.
All right. That'll do it for that
$200.
Maserati at 195. Jamie McLeod, our bidder assistant, on the telephone with the new owner of that car. 1957 Bel Air, equipped with a 6.6-liter Duramax LMM turbo diesel and a 6-speed transmission behind it, gabbled for $200,000. And on to 1958 Corvette here, Bill, and I get a little bit of hint by that plate that we're looking at a Fuelie.
Nothing gets past you, buddy boy. Yeah, it is fuel injected indeed. The 290 horse 283 with the 4-speed transmission and just an award-winning restoration job that you will not find fault with at all. Even the headlights are T3s. Now those Westinghouse headlights, if you go to Bloomington Gold and you've got those headlights in there, you get points.
Points, right on. $100,000 to open it up on another 58 custom.
Yeah, CRC, again, always a bunch of people that love Corvettes and really put their heart and soul in these conversions. No longer doing them out in Seattle. Corvette parts, I guess now, is what they provide for people. But this is, again, a conversion that's built on the 2012 C6 chassis. Different color arrangement here. Silver blue with snowcrest white coves.
We are once again knocking on the door. There it is. The door is wide open now at $200,000. And with that bid, the reserve coming off, we're in excess of $1 million on this collection. Wow, that is really, really cool. Hemi Charger 500.
This was Mopar's attempt to have a competitive car on the super speedways. That's why you see the different styling in the front and the flush rear window. And it was, as I hate to say, a dismal failure. It did not deliver. Chrysler pulled in some engineers from their aerospace division and said, we need to fix this. And the following year, in 1970, we saw that Hemi Daytona with the big wing in the back and the front nose cone. And, of course, the Superbird as well borrowed from that style. And they went out and ran roughshod on the super speedways.
A lot on the line here, and we don't know the story, but they've decided that 210 is enough to lift the reserve and see what happens. It could stay there, it could go.
Yeah, we've seen that happen. When people know the vehicle is for sale, they'll jump in.
There we go, $210,000.
One of only 67 of those were built in 1969.
Here is another 1962, and we're going to open the bidding here at $100,000. Again, LS Power.
Yeah, a little different power plant, Scott, from the previous two. This with a 6.2 LS3 in it. And this one has a 213 C6 chassis like the previous one. Tasco turquoise with white coves. And look at how that interior speaks to the paint with that turquoise and black motif.
The reserve bill came off at around 155, 160. Just hammered it for $215,000. 2015 Ferrari F12 Berlinetta, and this fits more into that traditional Ferrari lineup that you were talking about earlier. You would expect a V12 in a car like this, and you've got it.
Yeah, that front engine V12 GT superstructure is something that, boy, Ferrari hang their head on for a long time. Odometer reads less than 5,000 miles, 731 horsepower V12, displacement 6.3 liters.
How about this? The reserve is off $220,000, our number one car today and for the entire week thus far. And there it is. Matt Morvek with the hammer. $220,000. It is time for a big money 69 Boss 429.
Yeah, it's very rare that we see a short money 1969 Boss 429.
Exactly.
They are in the upper echelon of Ford Mustang collectibles. Of course, the engine is the whole story. That 429 cubic inch semi-Hemi, highly sophisticated engine. Rated at 375 horsepower, but I don't think there's anybody in this entire building that believes that. These were much closer to over 400 horse. They all had 4-speed manuals. This one with the candy apple red outside and the black inside.
The reserve is off. 245, 250. Now you gotta scream and holler like you mean it. So.
Oh, the reserve is off, and deal done. How about that?
Oh, well, you know, that was labor intensive, as we say in the collector car world.
Ford GT from 2006.
Well, we've all heard the specs on these Ford GTs. This is a 2005, I believe. Yesterday's was an 05. This is an 06, right?
Yesterday's was an 05.
Yeah, and this is
an
the
06.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the specs, I'm confusing myself now. Specs are the same. 5.4 double overhead cam, V8, 550 horse with that supercharger. Ricardo 6-speed manual transmission and the forged BBS lightweight wheels. All 4 options.
Reserve is off.
Okay, reserve is off at 400 grand.
So, $400,000 extra.
And there it is. That's our friend Jim Wicks, who just bought that for $400,000. Next is the car that Chris had at the top of the show. Bill, you and I looked this over a lot yesterday, along with the 2006 red one. This is a Ford GT from 05. 2 options, but the most striking part about this is the stripe delete. It just gives it a completely different visual.
Yeah, really gives it sort of a plain clothes undercover sort of vibe. And it has all of the things we would expect, you know, with a Ford GT from 2005, that 550 horse, aluminum V8, the supercharged 5.4, the Ricardo 6-speed transaxle, and the 2 options it has, the Macintosh stereo and the painted brake calipers.
Reserve is off $500,000. 550 anymore? Nope. $550,000. That'll bump the average up just a little bit for the 05 Ford GTs.
It may put a little ripple in the marketplace.
Wow, they were soft for a while, but they've come back, and there is proof positive right there. Our top seller today.